Hello students, I am Bunyan Neville and today we will be talking about data analysis for final year students. Every student at one point in their final year will have to conduct a certain research and this will require them to go into the field, collect data, analyze this data and make decisions or conclusions on the set research topic. So today we are going to be looking at the various steps in carrying out this process so that it can ease you in your presentation or in your final year thesis. So let's get straight into it. We have the outline of this presentation. We are going to look at, of this training, we are going to have brief introduction, we look at the questionnaire design, we look at qualitative analysis, we look at quantitative analysis, then we look at the mixed method. This training is going to be, say, 80% practical and 20% theoretical. So let us move straight into it. Now, what is data? Data are facts or statistics collected together for references or analysis. Now, all of this literature we are going to be looking at is on the internet, so you can get this information from the internet. And we are looking at data analysis as a process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, interpreting data to discover valuable insights, draw conclusions, and support decision making. Now, when you look at this, we are doing this to discover valuable insights, draw conclusions, and support decision making. This already tells you why we are conducting data analysis. Then we have other objectives of data analysis, and we have the types of data analysis which you can equally get online. Okay. Then we look at this a simple flow chart for this. We have this flow chart to your left, which is flow chart for final year students who are conducting research and who are conducting research in fields that are other than engineering. So for this, you're going to have design of questionnaire. If you wish that your research should be conducted successfully, you have questionnaire design. You're going to have the various means in which we look at the various means in which you can design your questionnaire and collect data successfully. Then we look at data pre-processing, we look at analysis, and we look at reporting. Then to your right, we have another flow chart which may be used by engineering students. Let's say, for instance, students who are working on a deep learning model or machine learning model. We're going to have data collection, we're going to have data pre-processing, we're going to have data normalization or standardization, we're going to have training of the model, testing of the model, cross-validation of the model, then we have performance evaluation of the model, and so these are the various steps in which you can conduct a research. Okay, now let us move. We have been talking about questionnaire design. What is a questionnaire? The questionnaire is that set of questions that is going to enable you to collect data for your research. And a good questionnaire should be valid, reliable, interesting, clear, and succinct. We're going to see the meaning of all of these. A valid questionnaire is one that the respondent understands the objective of the question. So the questions in your questionnaire, for it to be valid, the respondent should understand the objective of the question you are asking. You get the point? If the respondent fails to understand the target, what you are targeting in a particular question, that questionnaire becomes non-valid. So you have to understand this when you are designing your questionnaire, because this is what is going to enable you to collect data for your analysis. Reliability. A reliable questionnaire is one that the respondent provides the same answer if asked the second time. You get the point? So if there is a question, if you ask a respondent the same question in your questionnaire 2 times and you have the same result, then that questionnaire is reliable. If not, then you have to rephrase that question. You get the point? Okay. Then we have interesting. Your questionnaire should be interesting. Remember, this is the tool that is going to enable you to collect data. So if that tool is not complete, if the respondent will answer the tool completely, then you are not going to have enough data for your analysis. So your questionnaire should be interesting such that the respondent will love answering it to the end. You get the point? Succinct. Usually, final year students would like to cast their net wider. You have to ensure that your questionnaire is addressing the objective of your research. Do not ask questions that are out of your research or closer to your research, no, but ask questions that are addressing your research question, your research topic. You understand? Your research objective. A succinct questionnaire is one that addresses the question as it is. Your questions are addressing the objective of your research and not the surroundings of your research. You get the point? Usually students would like to cast their net wider. Do not cast your net wider. Hit the net where it's supposed to be hit. Okay. Then we have the conceptual framework. Now, when you get the research topic as a researcher, a young researcher, when you get a research topic, you have to look into this research topic. What is surrounding this research topic? Then you're going to develop a conceptual framework that is going to help you come up with valuable questions, reliable questions, valid questions that will enable you collect data. Let's say, for example, we have what is the health-seeking behavior of parents whose children have upper respiratory tract infection, and what are the associated factors? If we look at the conceptual framework of that particular research topic, we have first the knowledge base. What is the knowledge of the disease we want to investigate? How can we prevent it? How can we manage it? The sources of information about that disease. You see, knowledge base concerning that disease. Then we have the socio-demographic information. Socio-information concerning the participant you want to interview. You have the social support concerning that participant you want to interview. How do families and friends relate to the disease you're suffering from? Attitude. What are the beliefs of the participants you are interviewing? Then the health system. How does the health system contribute to you who is suffering from this disease? Health attribute. What are the pre-existing conditions you are facing that is contributing to this disease you are suffering from now? You see that we have developed a conceptual framework that is going to give us valid questions, reliable questions, and interesting questions to collect our data. Now, this is a research for medical students. For non-medical students, you have similar conceptual framework. You have the knowledge base, you have the attitude, you have socio-demographic, you have social support. You may not have the health system, you may not have health attributes, but you have other attributes. You get the point? So you must know how to design the conceptual framework that is going to help you come out with suitable questions in your questionnaire design. You get the point? Okay, let's move forward. Then we are talking about questions. There are two types of questions you put in your questionnaire. We have the closed-ended questions and we have the open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions are those questions that the researcher provides answers to the respondent. So we can say multiple choice questions. Are you there? Yes or no questions. Those are closed-ended questions. The respondent will have to choose from what you have provided. The opinion of the respondent is not needed. Those are closed-ended questions. Whereas open-ended questions are those questions that the respondent's opinion counts. The respondent needs to give their opinion to the particular question of interest that you have asked. You get the point? These are open-ended questions. So when you are designing your questionnaire, you have to take into consideration all of this. And now when you are designing your questionnaire, you must know which questions should be made open-ended questions and which questions should be made close-ended questions. It will be unwise for you to make a question close-ended question when it's supposed to be an open-ended question. That will reduce the depth of your research. You get the point? Okay, let's move forward. For example, we have the close-ended question. How old are you? We have the age ranges. A, 15 to 25, B, 26 to 36, C, 37 to 47, D, 48 to 58. Choose from these options. Those are that is a closed-ended question. Open-ended question, we have what do you think is the cause of STDs? It's a close-ended question. You don't have any choice. Give us your opinion. You get the point? Good. Filtering. You have to ensure filtering. There are some questions that do not need answers in research. For example, we have, do you know any type of family planning methods? Yes or no? Now the next question, if yes, which type of modern family planning method do you know? Now, if you look at this question, if yes, this question is one of my final year students in doing, I think, midwifery in the university. Now this questionnaire, I had to come up with these videos because of the type of questionnaires I saw them designing. I taught them sometime in year 2, so I had to come up with these questions, with this program, so that it can guide them to better conduct their research. Look at this question. Do you know any type of family planning methods? Yes or no? If yes, which type of modern family planning method do you know? Now look at this. These two questions do not relate, because the first question is asking if you know any type of family planning method, and the second question is talking about modern family planning method. So it is either you rephrase the first question or you rephrase the second, because you have introduced filtering. Now those who are going to say no, we don't need their response. This is what we mean by filtering. Those who are going to say no, we don't know anything, we don't need their response. We need just those who have said yes, this is filtering. But then if you look at the questions, they don't align. We will not be able to correlate question 7 and question 6. The correlation will not be there, because question 7 is talking about modern family planning methods and question 6 is talking about family planning methods. You get the point? So you have to rephrase question 6. Do you know any type of modern family planning method? Then these two questions will now align. The two questions will now align. You get the point? Good. Then we have this. Are you using any modern family planning method? Yes. If yes, which so? You make it a close-ended question. If no, why? Now look at this. You have made it a close-ended question. If no, why? I think this question, if no, why, should be an open-ended question, because you cannot say the reasons why people do not use modern family planning method is because of these 4 reasons the researcher has outlined here. No. Even if you go to, if you go to the internet, you open Google, why are people not using modern family planning methods? You are going to get more than 4 reasons. You get the point? So this question was supposed to be an open-ended question for participants to give their opinion. You get the point? And this is going to give more depth into your research. So you have to take note of all of this. Not all questions in your questionnaire are supposed to be close-ended questions. But then, if you make all questions in your questionnaire close-ended questions, it makes analysis very simple and it makes your research shallow. You have to take note of that. Okay? Order of questions. Your questions should be sequential, such that the respondents find it interesting in answering them. Remember, you must make your questionnaire in such a way that the respondent answers all the questions, or the respondent completes the questionnaire for you to have sufficient data to perform analysis. Likert scale. You have to use Likert scale. There are some questions that do not require a yes or no response. For example, we have, the world will be much more better if everyone is treated equally. That's a question. Yes or no? Rather, the answers to this should not be yes or no. Even though it's a closing question, should not be yes or no. It will be preferable you use I agree, I strongly agree, I disagree. This gives the strength of your point you are trying to make as a respondent. Then we have double-barreled questions. Avoid using double-barreled questions. Double-barreled questions are questions in which the researcher expects the respondent to give 2 or more answers to a particular question. The researcher expects the respondent to give 2 or more answers to a particular question. This is not good. For example, this question was taken online. You can search online this particular question. You can get it online. Do you experience sore throat and fever during your cough and cold? Yes or no? Yes or no? You see, do you experience sore throat and fever during your cough or cough and cold? Yes or no? This question should be, do you experience sore throat during your cough? Did you experience sore throat during your cough and cold? Did you experience fever during your cough and cold? Or you make this question in the questionnaire design using check boxes. Are we there? Did you experience any of the following symptoms during your cough and cold? Then you put sore throat, cough, fever. This now will give them the opportunity to check many options. We are going to see this when we begin questionnaire design using Google Typeforms or Epi Info. Ambiguous questions. Now, there are certain words that mean different things to different people, like frequent, always, often. You should avoid such words. Are we there? For example, how often do you visit the doctor for cough and cold? We have not at all. Not very often. Sometimes. Quite often. Very often. This question should be, how many times did you visit the doctor for cough and cold in the past year? This question is specific. Are we there? The respondent is going to give an exact time, an exact answer. So avoid ambiguous questions. The previous question is also obtained from the internet. Okay. Designing the questionnaire with analysis in mind. When you are designing your questionnaire, you must have analysis in mind for every question you put in your questionnaire. For this question I'm putting in this questionnaire, what are the things I'm going to analyze? What is the valuable information I want to extract from this question I'm putting? For example, we have age. If you are asking the age or the ages of the respondents, what is the valuable information you want to get from their ages? First, we can get their mean. The mean age group that responded to the questions we were asking in the questionnaire. You get the point. The mean age group, their standard deviation. Ethnicity. What is the percentage of Africans? What is the percentage of this group of people who responded to this particular question? Ethnicity should be in percentages. Likert scale. What percentage of people strongly agree to this point that we have put in place? To this point we are making, what percentage of people strongly agree? Because this is what is going to make you to come out with your conclusion. It's going to guide your decision making. You get the point? So designing the questions with analysis in mind. You have to take this very serious, because once you have designed the analysis in mind, immediately the data comes before you. You already know what you are analyzing to get. Are we there? Okay. Then translation. When you design your questionnaire as a researcher, let's say you're in a bilingual country, or you are designing a questionnaire that should be answered by other participants that are not in your country. Maybe your research is cutting across a wide range of wide variety of people speaking different languages. You must ensure that the questionnaire is presented in the languages that the participants can clearly understand. You understand? Such that, remember we have said the questionnaire should be interesting. It should be reliable. It should be succinct. For this to be interesting means the participant first of all should understand what you are asking. So your translation has to be accurate. When you are conducting translation for research questionnaires, this is what you do. when you have designed your questionnaire in the language you best understand, it is important to get a third party. Is it a third party, second party, whoever? It is important to get a translator to translate that questionnaire to another language. You get the point? Now, when the translator has translated this questionnaire to another language, you will then take that translated copy, you meet another translator. This is the second translator we are talking about. To translate what has been translated back to the original language in which you design your questionnaire. Now, when this is done, you will have to verify if the second translation corresponds to the original questionnaire that you designed. If they are the same, then you know that if these questionnaires are presented to respondents, you are going to get valuable information that are the same. The questionnaires, you understand that the questionnaires are conveying the same information that you wanted. Get the point? Now, if the translations are not the same, then you are going to redefine the questions that have a problem in translation and make sure that they are the same before we take them into the field for data collection. Then we're going to look at pilot tests. When you design your questionnaire, you must conduct a pilot test to make sure that the responses you are getting is what you expected. The pilot test is that test which you're going to carry out after designing your questionnaire. And how you could perform a pilot test? After designing your questionnaire and after performing translation, if it is necessary, if you are in a country that is not a bilingual country, you don't need to perform translation of your questionnaire for a final year student. Now, once you have designed this questionnaire, it is imperative that you meet your close relations, families and friends, ask them this question, even if they are not of that field. Ask them these questions. When they give you responses, you collect this from this data, their responses. Let's say for 5 to 6 persons, flow through the responses they have given and see if there is an error in the question you are asking. If there is an error, you correct this error before taking that questionnaire into the field. This is going to enable you to get valuable information when you get into the field and start collecting data. Okay. This is the end of this presentation. The next presentation, we are going to be looking at questionnaire design. And we are going to see the reason why we are using the two methods presented above for questionnaire design. And we are not moving forward with printing of papers. Thank you all. See you in the next section.